Hey everyone, this is Pete. Welcome back to Atari ST A to Z, a series of short playthroughs of Atari ST games, some of which I grew up with and some which are new to me. Today's game is Vaxine by the Assembly Line and published by US Gold. This came out in 1990, I believe, and is actually the sequel to an earlier game called Emotion, also developed by the Assembly Line and published by the US Gold. The pair of these games were interesting for a few reasons. They were both very sort of science themed. In fact, Emotion described itself as the first new age computer game, designed to entertain, not enrage, to expand your mind, not explode it. And both of them made heavy use of ray traced graphics, mostly using spheres, entirely for the reason that you don't have to render a sphere from different angles. So if you're making ray traced sprites, then you just need one for a sphere. It was as simple as that. Emotion was a two-dimensional game which had a sort of asteroid-style control system, and I'm sure we'll come onto that at some point during this series. But Vaxine took some of the ideas from Emotion and took it into the third dimension. In fact, it made it into a sort of first-person shooter. It still involved some of the things that were in Emotion, such as color matching and shooting things and trying to make these atoms combine together in different ways. But it provided a very different feeling to its original incarnation. So, let's take a closer look. Right, here we are. Vaxine. Press fire. Body scan indicates bacteria in the ileum. This is the copy protection sequence. We are, as usual, playing a dodgy pirate copy, so I don't have to worry about code wheels and that sort of thing. As you've seen, though, I do actually have the original copy of this, though. So, you know, normally what you have to do is look up the combination of body part and ailment, and that will give you a code here that you then have to click on the balls. All right, so here we are. Now, as I've already mentioned, Vaxine and its predecessor, Emotion, were quite noteworthy for being beautifully presented games. The Assembly Line were very good at this. If you've been watching this series for a while, you might remember Interphase from a while back. That was an Assembly Line jam as well. So, let's jump in and take a look at how things go. Alright, so the way this works is that you have this sort of big grid-based field here. You have all those little half spheres down there, and you have these bouncing balls that are trying to destroy all your little half spheres. Your little half spheres are bases. They're supposed to be sort of important parts of the body, and the bouncing balls are supposed to be viruses. So what you have to do is work your way around the field, switch between different colours of shots with the right mouse button, and then blow up the balls with the appropriate colour shot. And that is pretty much it. But what's cool about this game is how it's presented. So you've got this lovely sort of ray-traced art style, for starters. You've got a completely digital soundtrack, which is quite unusual on the ST. And yeah, while it's not quite doing proper scaling on the sprites, it's doing a pretty good approximation of it with a decent number of frames of animation. And this is a really simple game concept, but it's a solid one. It's sort of proven. It stood the test of time. Alright, you see what's happened there now is that two of them have joined together. So if three of them join together, they start going after your bases. So you need to try and break them apart before that happens. So you see that first level was pretty deceptive, because it ramps up in pace and difficulty pretty quickly. You might also notice you've only got a limited amount of ammunition as well. You can replenish that by shooting those stars that you see around the place. And you can also generate stars by shooting balls with the wrong colour. Alright, we've got a 3 there now. So those will now actively go and seek out one of our bases. So we need to deal with it before that happens. Any slight trouble with this is sometimes a little bit difficult to keep track of which ones of the balls are yours and which ones are the ones you're supposed to be destroying. Alright, that's all the green ones dealt with, all the orange ones dealt with, so just one pink one left to go. But where is it? Where is it? Oh no, there's some more have spawned in. So I believe there's like a limited number of balls, viruses, whatever they are, that spawn in on each stage. And so you just need to get rid of all of them before you run out of shots for one of your colours. Or before you lose all your bases, of course. You've got a few ways you can help yourself out. So these black obelisk things, if you charge into one of them and not miss it like I just did, then nothing happens apparently. Let's try that again. Mouse controls on this, very twitchy. There we go. Right, so if you go through one of those, then you'll notice there's a little clock in the corner of the screen. And that means time freezes for up to a minute until you fire a shot. So that gives you the chance to get in a good position to destroy it. And we're running out of ammo. Let's go and replenish. Not overly confident now, actually. Oh, base under attack there. What's happened there? There's supposed to be something you can do where you can hold down the right mouse button and fire, and that's... I thought that did a rapid fire thing, but apparently it does not do that. Well, that's the end of that game. So, let's have another go, shall we? So you can continue from where you left off, you just lose all your score. So, traditional arcade rules there. Right, let's try and do a bit better. Well, that's interesting. There's 3 different colours joined together there. Alright, only one orange one left to go. I'm wondering if there's something specific that makes them multiply. That would be in keeping with the theme, certainly. So yeah, I mentioned when we were looking at the packaging that Emotion kind of prided itself on being a relaxing, sort of almost zen-like experience. This has certainly got elements of that, but it's a bit more frantic than Emotion was. Emotion was a lot more of a puzzle game, whereas this is definitely an action game. Emotion I'm sure we'll get to on this series at some point. I can't actually get it running on any of the real hardware I've got, but since for the sake of recording things a bit more easily, I tend to use emulation anyway to actually record the footage. That shouldn't be a problem. There you go. You're bouncing very high. You're very difficult to hit. See, there's an example of generating a star by shooting something with the wrong colour. And their bounces do seem to sort of decline over time as well. So if one is bouncing too high, then you can just wait for it to calm down a bit before trying to deal with it. Yeah, that's definitely multiplying, isn't it? Let's destroy a few of them. This is a game that is actually enhanced for the Atari ST A as well. The ST A was a slightly later model of the ST that had enhanced colours. It had stereo sound, not that anything ever used it. It had 4 joystick ports, not that anything ever used those either. But there were a few games out there that actually made use of the STE's enhanced graphical capabilities in particular. And games like this always really benefited from it with sort of these gradient backdrops and that kind of thing. They look really nice. This is the standard ST version that we're playing here. So if you just imagine this, but with a bit less dithering going on, that's what the STE version would look like. I'm doing terribly. Look at this. There's 9 of these pink bastards now. And we're just... everyone is going to die. And we're out of bullets. Right, well, let's try that again and try not to embarrass ourselves quite so much this time. I don't remember this game being this hard. But apparently it is. Now, the package I showed you earlier was obviously a fairly standard cardboard box. But you could actually get a version of this that came in a tin. It was really cool, as it was sort of designed to be like a sort of scientific sample tin. It was implying that the contents of the tin were sort of hazardous virus samples and that sort of thing. I always kind of wanted that version, but it's not one I managed to track down, unfortunately. The version I have got has still got the price sticker on it, and I got it for $4.99 somewhere. So I think that was quite a bit after it was originally released. The most new ST games would have been around the sort of £20-25 mark. So this is actually one I bought, rather than one that my brother got for a review copy, which we then kept. Because they don't want it back afterwards. Oh, you had your filthy reviewer paws all over it. So no, this is not one that we reviewed back in the day. My brother did review Emotion, as I recall, which suggests that we got it running on one of our systems at one point, but I have never ever managed to get that game working, and I don't really know why. Oh, I see what's going on. Yeah, those little things in the floor, those are spitting out more balls. So we need to destroy those to stop more of them coming. That makes sense. Right, armed with this new knowledge, let's try and finish level 2, shall we? Alright. Orange is dealt with. Oh, this is cool as well. Like if you are obviously struggling to find something, this word will come up, and that does use smooth scaling. I'm not sure if that's polygons or if it's clever sprite effects, but it was certainly something that the programmers of this were quite proud of. I remember reading an early preview of this game, and they were talking a lot about the ray tracing. It's like all the graphics on this were originally rendered on Acorn Archimedes, if I remember correctly. I failed this, haven't I? Well, does that give you ammunition for the colour of the star you shoot? I think it might, actually. So let's go and blast some of these and hopefully get some orange bullets back. Not many. It's better than nothing. Let's go through there and see if we can find that irritating base thing. There it is. So now we have to hit that, which is easier said than done. Oh no. Right, well, I'm getting the idea of this now. Let's have one more try. If you've not yet noticed, this is also quite an addictive game. Which was true of Emotion as well. That was addictive for different reasons. That was addictive just because it was a cool puzzle game. And it was a fun challenge to try and get through all the different levels. Whereas in this, the addiction factor is very much from sort of trying to improve your skills, get better scores, and still make it through each level, I guess. But yeah, with it being a different type of game, it's quite a different feel. Right, green dealt with. One more orange somewhere. So, in case you haven't noticed, the playfield wraps around on itself as well. It's not especially huge either. And so there's only so many places that the balls can hide from you. Right, there's the orange one. So let's take him out, or miss completely. That's good too. Kaboom. Right. Just the pink ones to go. Hopefully before one of those irritating bastard bases comes up. So let's go through another obelisk. Those are so difficult to get through. Got to be lined up absolutely perfectly for that to work. Right, we've got a minute to find the pink ones. I'm reasonably confident. There they are. Come here, Pinky. Time for you to die. Take your medicine. Have we done it? No! Oh, you... Please tell me there's not one of the spitter things going around the place. Oh, I think there might be. Right, well, clearly we're going to have to track that down before we do anything else. Because otherwise, it's just going to spread and get worse. So, where are you, you little shit? Let's see one. Oh well, let's just let's destroy these and see how we go. I didn't hear it spawn in as well. It makes a distinctive sound when it spawns in, so hopefully we're just having to deal with... Oh, there it is. Come here, you prick. Gotcha. Right. Death to pink. Death to pink. Oh, God. Pink is hard to hit. Right, 2 more pinks to go. There is... Oh no, not again. Right, I think I need to be a bit more strategic with these obelisks, and it would be nice if the collision detection on them was just a tiny bit better, it'd be lovely. Oh. Why did I die? Oh well. One more try. This actually is the last go. Absolutely, positively, definitely the last go. Probably. Right. I'm going to clear this level. Okay, not too bad so far. Orange one go. There you are. Right. Just some green ones. Right. Let's attempt to fly through an obelisk. And miss, as usual. There we go. Right. Let's find those green ones. Not there. Where are you? Left, you say? Nope. There you are. Right. Prepare to die. Last one. Come on. Last one. Yes? Come on. Oh, thank fuck for that. Right. Level 3. The same, but different colours. That's basically this game. Lots of the same, but different colours. That's a bit of a simplification. You've probably seen that each level starts with a few more of the viruses already in place. Some of them join together in those awkward arrangements. Oops, that's the wrong colour. But for the most part, yeah, it's pretty similar each time. So there's no obstacles to avoid as such. Just lots of enemies to track down and destroy mercilessly with your vaccine. Where have you gone? There. Alright, purple's dealt with. That's... Oh, there's a green one. Get some ammo. And just some yellow ones left to go. So let's obelisk it up to go and find them. It might be to do with the speed that you go through the obelisk. Maybe you can only trigger it if you're going slowly through it. I'm not sure. Oh, no, you don't. I think we've done it. Hooray! Why were we having so much trouble with level 2 then? Different pattern on the floor this time. It's not just the same with different colours. It is a whole different floor texture. Oh, it doesn't replenish your ammo between levels, though. Alright, I think that's probably a good place to finish there. We got a new high score, though. That's very exciting. Enter your name. Alright. Pete. There we go. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please help out the channel by leaving a like or a comment and subscribing. New episodes of Atari A to Z are on Tuesdays and Atari ST A to Z on Thursdays. Check out atariatoz.wordpress.com for a full archive. Do please also check out my other projects moegamer.net, where I explore Japanese and Japanese-inspired games from yesterday and today, and videopackgames.wordpress.com, which aims to catalogue a small but well-formed library of the Philips G7000 Videopack computer, also known as the Magnavox Odyssey 2. You can also support my work on Patreon or buy me a coffee. You can find links to do both down in the video description. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.